Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on your time zone and at the time at which you're watching this video. This is your crypto master. Today, guys, I'll be showing you how you can trade futures without liquidation. Yes, I know that nothing is 100% guarantee. You guys, you get nothing is 100% guarantee, but I want to assure you that there are things that you are 99% guarantee, and there are things that you are 50% guarantee. So in this aspect, I'll be guaranteeing you 99% because the the probability of you being liquidated is very rare. So guys, if this is your first time of coming across our YouTube videos, please sure you do yourself a favor to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be getting updates. Make sure you share this information so that it will get to those who are looking for such informations. Make sure you hit the bell button so that you will getting notification whenever we drop any update, and make sure you like to enable us serve you more better. You can see the market is already red, very red. Almost everywhere is red. These are our coins that are doing very well, the gainers, while these are the losers. So how do you trade without loss on futures? Let's go to the futures. If you have not started trading futures before, uh, go to my last video. I taught about how to open a future trading, how to start a future trading. Go and watch that video. So this one now is how to trade futures without liquidation. Without liquidation. So let's go to my futures account. I have some trades running there already. Okay, this is my futures account. I wanted to do this video immediately. I placed the trade so that you guys will see it, but all the same, as I placed the trade, my order it did not trigger. So I was like, let me go and do one or two things before I realized it have triggered and it have started trading already. So guys, how do you trade futures without liquidation? I have two ways that I'm going to show you. I have two ways, and these two ways, if you followed it, if you work with it, definitely you will come and thank me later. Number one, if you are using Mexi, you will be able to see your liquidation before you pick a trade. And Binance also, not all trade that you will see your liquidation price. It's most especially when you're on cross. If you're on isolated, you may not see your liquidation price. So let's say we pick a coin. What coin do we pick? Okay, let's use this coin that's already here. Now you can see, look here. Let me circle it. Look here. You can see it's isolated. It's isolated. And look here, you see it's 10x. You get? So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say now is that this isolated that is here, if you are using it to trade, you may hardly see your liquidation. But if you are using it on Messi, your liquidation will show you, it will show you your liquidation even before you start trading. You grab. So this isolation or cross and this uh, um, leverage that is here, they are very important. That is the first rule. Let me explain before I go to the second rule. Now, let's assume I want to pick this trade at the current rate that it is, which is 3.043. 3.043. and I decide to leave it on isolated, and I decide to use my leverage to 25x, which is the highest leverage. Definitely, if I pick this trade now, my liquidation will be very, very close, depending on the excuse me, depending on the amount that I use in entering the trade. But by the time I leave it on isolated and I bring back this leverage to 5x or 7x, highest 10x, you will see that I've reduced my load side. My liquidation will definitely extend more, it will increase more. So the higher the load side, the leverage that you're using, the closer of your liquidation. And the lower the liquidation and the lower the leverage you are using, the higher your liquidation. That is number one. Remember, I have told you about isolated and cross. This isolated means, I've said it before, watch the other video. This isolated means if you are liquidated, it's only the amount you enter the trade with that will go. Let's say I have $100 here and I enter a trade with $20 and I use isolated. If I did not use stop loss, if I'm liquidated, it's only that $20 that I will lose. But by the time I turn it to cross and I enter a trade with $20 and I have $100, if I'm liquidated, the whole $100 will be lost. As I said now, if you are using cross, that means you are using the whole money in your wallet, despite the fact you only use $20 out of the $100 that you have. But it means that the whole money is running on the trade. You understand what I mean? So your liquidation will definitely be more higher than when you are using isolated. Okay, let's practicalize what I just said now. Okay, let's use this coin that is here. Let's say we want to use isolated. I know that the this thing will not show the. Let's say we are using 25x on isolated. Oh, sorry, let me approve it. Let me approve the 25x. Okay, now you can see it's 25x that is showing here, showing isolated. Let's say I want to use 25% of my capital here, and I want to take long, for example. You can see uh, the liquidation is not showing. You can see it. No liquidation showing here. Okay, let's say I use cross. Let's say I use cross. And I'm using the 10, 50, 25 leverage. And I'm using the same 25%. You can see my liquidation is showing here. You can see the liquidation is at $35. 35%. You understand? So by the time I pick this trade now, once you hit that, I'll be liquidated. And remember, this cross means the whole money that I'm having in my account is what that is going to be used. That is why the liquidation is a little bit far. You understand? The liquidation is a little bit far. Okay, now let's say I bring down this 25x down to 5x leverage, low side, and I'm still using the same 25% of my capital. You can see, you see it, liquidation is not showing. That means before I will be liquidated, it is infinity, because this thing means infinity. Before I will be liquidated, it will be very, very rare. It will not, because the capital I have here with the pattern, the capital that I have is involved, and the type of this thing that I want to use with in trading is also involved, which is either isolated or cross. You understand? Remember when I use isolated, the liquidation was showing. But now that I use cross, isolated means that 25% of my capital, let's say I have $100, 25% of my $100 is $25. Let's say I enter with $25. On isolated, if I'm liquidated, I will lose only that $25. But as I'm using cross now, and I'm using the same $25 to start the trade, that means I'm going to lose the whole $100 that I have there, not only the $25 that I picked the trade with, because I'm using cross. So that is number one. Leverage, using high leverage lead to high risks, high risks to liquidation. Then using low leverage lead to longer liquidation limit, which is it reduces the risks of liquidation. Using cross also increase your liquidation, only that if you happen to get liquidated, you are losing the whole account. You are losing the whole money in your account. Then using isolated will reduce your liquidation limit. It will bring it close. It will not increase it, because you are only going to lose the amount that you enter the trade with. So low leverage with trading on cross or isolated is number one key that you can use so that you will not be liquidated. Like I just gave you example, the whole money that I have in this account now, I want to use it to trade on cross, and I'm using 5x. You can see that I'm using 25%. My liquidation is not showing. If it is may see now, it may show me quite sure. You can see it's not showing at all. It's not showing because I'm using 5x only. But by the time I use 25x, which is the highest on this particular trade, and I'm using the same 25% of my capital to enter the trade, you can see my liquidation is showing. Can you see it? Estimated liquidation price. You can see it here. Once you get to 33%, once you hit 33%, I'll be liquidated, and it's everything in the account that I'm going to lose, because I'm using high leverage and I'm using cross. But if I'm using high leverage but I'm using isolated, if the liquidation price will show, maybe I will do one of the video on Mexi so that you guys will understand what I'm saying. Let's say I'm using isolated, I'm using the same 25x, and you can see liquidation is not showing here. You understand? But if it's Mexi now, it will definitely show you. So this is one way that you can trade without liquidation. As I gave you example, I use 5x and I use cross. Yes, I know, like I told you, cross mean when you are liquidated everything, but you can see that my liquidation is not showing. That means you can even set the trade and travel, because liquidation is not even showing. And for this coin to drop to, let's say, 0 point at this $3 that it is, to drop at 0 point something, it's not something of today. Me and you know that one. It's not something of today. And if actually that my liquidation is at 0 point something, it could have showed me there. But that sign there means that my liquidation is not yet known. That's what it means. But I know Mexi will definitely show us um, um, when it's going to be liquidated. Okay, now let's assume that I'm no longer using 25% of my capital. I want to use, let's say, 75% of my capital. I'm using high leverage. If I'm picking this trade, you can see at minus 9%, I'll be liquidated immediately, because I'm using more of my cap. I'm using more than 1/3 of my capital. You understand? I'm using 75%, leaving only 25%. So my liquidation will be very, very close. You can see my liquidation is showing me at 9%. Once I get minus 9%, I'll be liquidated. Unlike when I use 20 to 25% of my capital. Okay, let's say 20%, or let's say 25%. You can see minus 33, minus 31% before I can be liquidated. Okay, let's say I use only 10% or 5%. Let's say 5% of my capital. Okay, this is 6%. You see, my liquidation is not showing. You see it. Let's say I use 50% of my capital. My liquidation is at 15. Once I hit 15%, it will be liquidated. You see, so the higher the amount of capital that you want to enter the trade, the higher the risks of your liquidation. Get it very well. Again, the higher the lot size that you are using, like you can see, it's on 25x. If it is BTC, BTC has up to 125 x, which is load size. So the higher the amount you are using to enter the trade, the higher your risks of liquidation. The higher the load size, the leverage, the higher the risks of your liquidation. And using isolated also will also increase the risks of your liquidation. So all you need to do to avoid uh, uh, having a higher risk of liquidation is: one, use just 5 to 10% of your capital. 5 to 10%. This is where you adjust the percentage of your capital. Use 5 to 10% of your capital. That is number one rule. Number two, use load size. You can see reduce to 5 to 10. 5 to 10, between 5 to 10, depending on your capital. If your capital is from $100 up, you can use 5 to 7. But if it's from $100 up, you can use 5 to 10. From $200 up, you can use 5 to the same. Let's say from $500 up, you can use from 10 to 20. Good. So always use loads, very uh, use a minimal load size, which is leverage. 2x. I have a trade that I enter with 2x because I'm going to hold that trade for a very long time. So that is it. That is number one. I hope you understand this. Okay, number two is how to set, how to hate the trade that you're already trading. Let's say you pick a trade. Let me check one of my trades that is running. Okay, I have two trades running already. Wow, this one is 17%. Wow, this one is already giving me profit. Okay, let me show you with this. Okay, look at this trade now. Let me use my cycle to show you guys. Look at here. I'm using cross. You can see it. Let me change the color of this. Let me change this color to, is it green or red? Okay. Let me use this red. You can see here, I'm using cross, and I'm using 5x only. I'm using cross on this trade, and I'm using only 5x. That means if I will be liquidated on this trade, the whole amount that I have in this account will be liquidated completely. But you know what? Let me show you my liquidation. Meanwhile, I entered this trade with only $8. Out of over 100 and something dollars that I have in this account, I enter with only $8. That means I'm not using more than 3% of my capital. I'm sorry, I'm not using more than 8%. I have about 200 and something dollars, maybe around $140 or so. Let me check, because I withdraw some money. Let me check my futures. Yeah, you can see I have $142. Despite the fact that out of this $142, uh, this this unrealized profit $2 is the profit that I made on the two traders running. I'm making $2 profit. So why $140.29 is is the main one that I have in the account. So I have up to $142 here. But if you check my trade, you see that I'm using only $8 to enter the trade. You see that I enter with only $2. Look at it. Look at it. 8% of 140. It's not up to, it's not 8% of 100 is $8. So I'm not using up to 8%. I enter this trade with only $8. And this is my entering price here. I enter when the price is $102. Right now, the price is $105. If actually that I enter this trade, I'm making about 18% profit already. So if actually that I enter this trade now with, let's say, the load side, which is the cross that I'm using, and the sorry, let's say this. Let me. I want to cycle this thing. Okay, let's say this place. I'm using uh, uh let's say 25x. Do you know by now on this trade that I'm making $1 with $8? Let's say I'm using 25x. By now, I should have been making more, as in more than $4, even with this $8. Okay, let's say I enter this trade with about $100. Do you know at this 18%, I'll be making I'll be making $18 from it. Let's say I enter this trade with the same loss side, but I enter with $100. By now, at 18%, I'll be making $18. And if to say I use 25x at 100%, guys, I'll be making over $25 on this trade. I'll be making, sorry, I'll be making over, if I'm using $100 and I'm using 25x, oh boy, guys, I'll be making over 200 and something dollars on this particular trade. Yes, that is how it works. Okay, let's go to my liquidation. Let me show you guys. Let's check my liquidation on this trade. Look at it here. Unlimited. Can you see it? Look at it there. Unlimited. This once is not showing you any figure here. That means your liquidation is unlimited. You can see it. No figure showing there. It's unlimited. Now, if I want to, let's go to my second trade. Okay, this is my second trade. I'm trading this SOL, Solana. This Solana now, look at the difference between that up one and this one. Number one, let me get my tools to cycle. Number one, I'm using isolated on this Solana. I'm using isolated on this Solana. And on this Solana that I'm using isolated, I'm using only 2x. Are you understanding it? I'm using only 2x. Okay, I entered the trade with $18, which is roughly $19, 18.99, roughly $19. That's what I entered the trade with. And I entered the trade when it was $38. Right now, it's $38,900. $38,933. Do you understand? And you look at my liquidation. My liquidation is showing. My liquidation is $19. So now, why is it that my liquidation is $19 when Solana dropped to $19? Because one, I use a very low leverage. Yes, leverage. This X that you see here, this 2x that you see is here. This 2x. I use a very low leverage. And if I will be liquidated, I'll be liquidated when this Solana move down to $19. When is Solana going to move $19? That is my question to you that is watching this video. Can you tell me that Solana, in 1 week, Solana will go to $19? The highest that Solana can go down to is maybe 20 something dollars. It will never go to $19 again because we are about to enter bull run. Even if it will enter $19, it's not today, it's not tomorrow, it's not this week, it's not next week, it's not next month. It's not, I'm not sure that it's going to be this year again. So for me, for me to be on a safer side, I use low leverage if I want to use cross, because this cross means once I'm liquidated, it's only this $18 that is here that will be liquidated, not the whole money that I have here. I show you I have $140 something already in this wallet. So if I'm liquidated, it's only this $18 that I enter this trade with that will be liquidated. And for me not to be liquidated, which is the main purpose of this video, for me not to be liquidated, what will I do? What I will do is, one, I will head this trade. Since I have money on this account and I'm using isolated, meaning only the money that entered the trade will be lost, what I will do is to head this trade. When is my liquidation? $19. Yes, I know this $19 is not, it's not possible. It's not going to be very easy for Solana to drop from $38 to $19. It's not going to be so easy like that. It will be easy to drop from $38 to $20 something dollars, but to drop up to $19, you and I know that Solana have been within 20 something dollars for a very long time. So I don't want this video to be long. So what do I need to do? I head this trade. How do you head a trade? You go to your Solana again. You go to your Solana. Since your liquidation is at $19, when you come to your Solana, you say, okay, if Solana hit $19, I'll be liquidated. So once Solana drop down to $20, I should be able to buy more to bring down my liquidation down to maybe $5 or $3. So once Solana hits $20, remember you are buying long, so don't go and put short. Then you can say, okay, use maybe 20% to 25% of my equity again to buy Solana when it hits $20. Then you click on buy, bam, successful. Now on here now, you see that I have some either headed trades, or I have some take profit and stop loss. Remember, I always emphasize, don't trade without stop loss. I lost serious money 2 days ago because I was expecting the coin to bounce back, so I did not put stop loss. I lost serious money. If I say it, some of you will run. Some of you will disappear. So I lost serious, when I say serious money, I lost over $300. So you can see here now, look at this place, look at this Solana. You can see this trigger will keep on waiting until the day that Solana dropped to $20. So if Solana dropped, since my liquidation is $19 plus, once Solana hit $20, it will buy again. And once it buy again, my liquidation may go down to $3 or $2, which you know that is not going to be possible. You understand? Except if Solana is going to crash down. So if you follow this method that I'm teaching here, you will never be liquidated in your future trading. Yes, you will never be liquidated, except if you did not follow this method that I'm teaching you now. Listen, I'm teaching you for free now. Some people pay huge amount of money before they learn it. Now look at my this here. You can see this tool. I in order to peak at 1.28. So look at the market now. It's 1.3 something. So it will never peak until it drop down to 1.28 before it can peak. Look at it, 1.28. It will remain like this till the kingdom come. Unless this coin drop to 2.8, $1.28, then that is when my order will peak. Okay, look at Solana again. I have Solana to buy again at $37. Once you remember my Solana, I pick it at where is my Solana? I pick it at $38. Now I'm heading the trade. No, I'm not considering the liquidation because my liquidation is at $19. So I'm expecting I'm expecting to do what we call cost average. You understand? So once Solana drop to $37, it will buy more again for me. I may also set another 35 so that once it drop to as you're buying more, you are accumulating more at a lower price. By the time Solana start pumping, you will see the kind of profit you'll be making. You'll be surprised about it. So this at $20, I'll cancel it because I'm not expecting Solana to move down to $20 soon. Despite the fact that my liquidation is at $19. So I will cancel that one. So when you head your trades, okay, look at this TRB that I'm trading. Look at this TRB that I'm trading. You can see with my 17% profit, my liquidation is not showing. But still, I still have, let me see, I still have, look at it here. I still head the trade. I'm still heading the trade at, despite the fact that heading the trade that I mean here is, I still want to accumulate more of the coin once it drop. I entered at $102 and I set to buy more for me at $95 again. So even if it drop from that $102 that I enter to 95, it will buy more again for me. And as it buy more again for me, if I see it, I will set another one to accumulate more. If it drop more again, maybe at $90, I will accumulate more again. So that by the time it starts pumping, I will see a very massive. By then I have accumulated. Let's say I use $10 to buy the first one. Okay, second dollar, say $10 to buy the second one, $10 to buy the third one. You can see I've used $30 to accumulate it at different zones. As it's dropping, I'm accumulating it. By the time it start moving, you will see maybe let's say I accumulate the first one, second one, and third one. By the time it's moving to the second, the price at which I bought it, I will be in massive profit already. Because the rate at which I'm going to start making profit will be more higher. It's just like the first one I bought at $102. Okay, second one I bought at $95. Third one I bought at $90. So by the time you move from that 90 to 92, 93, I will be in profit already because as I bought at $102, I later bought at $95. It must have brought my 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 trading profit from $102 to maybe 100 and maybe $97 because I bought again at $95. So at $97, I should be in profit, not until when it hits that 102 again because I've accumulated more. So my level of